of Jesus.
Apostolic Sunday School.com.
Why, hello there, and welcome to ApostolicSundaySchool.com. Today we're going to be doing another object lesson that is going to teach about the enemy that we have that wants to fight us, and he doesn't want us to live for God, and of course we know who that is. That's the devil, Lucifer, or Satan, or Stinky Head, or whatever you want to call him. There's all kinds of things that we use to describe him. Whatever, but he's just not a very nice guy, and he wants to mess up your walk with God. But why? Why would he want to do that? Well, let me tell you why. You see, a long time ago, he lived in heaven. No, really, the devil was in heaven. Not only was he in heaven, but he was one of the most important people there. There was God, and then there was Lucifer. There was Michael and Gabriel, the archangels, but they were so powerful, they were more powerful than all the rest of the angels, and they looked at them, and they were impressed by them, and they were impressed by how important they were. But unfortunately, Lucifer also started to be impressed with how important he was, not God himself. He started to think that he was as important as God was. Oh, what a crazy dude. Anyway, he talked to the other angels, convinced them that, hey, I'm really important, and pretty soon some of those angels believed him, that they could be like God, or that that Lucifer was basically a replacement. I mean, how ridiculous is that? But this whole time he was doing this, do you think God was ignorant of what was going on? No, God knew exactly what was going on. You see, God will not force anyone to live for him. Now, he wants us to love him, and he wants us to live for him, but for the right reasons. So God is not going to force anybody to be a robot and live for him. So once God found out which angels really loved him and which ones could be persuaded to get odd, he had to make a decision. And he kicked Lucifer and his cronies out of heaven all the way down to the earth where they still are today. Can you imagine that? Someone so pathetic they can't live for God in heaven. That's just crazy. Yeah, the devil's pretty pathetic. Well, anyway, he's been kicked out of heaven. The devil now goes around on earth trying to impress people. He thinks the earth is his playground now, and anyone that doesn't think like him or act like him is going to get his attention. The devil's like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. 1 Peter 5:8. He goes around roaring, making lots of noise, making the world tremble, tries to scare people that are trying to live for God, make them change their mind. He causes trouble, makes people's lives very difficult, and he loves to see problems. He loves to see people fighting. He loves to see families falling apart. He loves violence. He loves hatred. He loves gross stuff, and he's trying to put it anywhere and everywhere he can, like, the things that people consume, movies, TV, video games, billboards, magazines, YouTube videos, everywhere else that he can. Now, right here, you see this thing I got going on? I got these things, and these, the devil's just like this. I don't know if you can see the little smoke coming up from here. Yeah, this is like the devil. That smoke coming up from there. He's like a roaring lion, just kind of, well, it's kind of pitiful actually, but that's him. He's looking for his next opportunity to mess with us. Well, the devil tried to mess with Jesus. Jesus, can you believe that? Well, he was on a long fast, Jesus was, and he was God, but he was also human. He hadn't eaten for 40 days, and he was really hungry, and the devil decided to take that opportunity to try to mess with him, telling him to turn stones into bread, or prove you're God by jumping off a building. Anyway, you can imagine that didn't work real well. Right here, this is the representation of the devil. He's blowing smoke. He's hot, he's angry, he's looking for a place to cause problems and make people's lives harder than they are. But God has a plan for him. And one day, he's going to get everything that he has coming to him. He's going to meet with an end. It's terrible and frightening. You see this? Yeah, that's the end. God's going to show the world just what the devil really is. Isaiah 14:16. They that shall see thee shall look narrowly upon thee. Meaning that they're going to look... Really? And consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble and that shook the kingdom? This pathetic little squirt, this little worm, he's the one that messed up my family and my life? Him? Well, in one fell swoop, God's going to show the world just what Satan really is made of. Just how pathetic he is. Are you ready? This is what God's going to do. He's going to take that devil and just like, did you see that? One little pop. This whole thing completely imploded. God didn't even have to do it. You see, the devil's just full of hot air. When he meets the power of God, you get to see what he really is. He's just a sissy that's full of himself. He's a schoolyard bully that talks loud and beats his chest and pushes around little people. But my God is my big brother. He shows up and pops him in the nose. Yeah, his little fallen angels too, the little punks that follow him around and like being lied to in heaven, they get the same treatment. Anyway, this is a really, really cool lesson where you have a can, an aluminum can. I have the small ones here because that's what I had around the house, but the big ones work too. You want to put a little bit of water in the bottom and then get a hot plate or a stove of some kind, and you want to heat it up where the steam is coming nicely out of the tip. And you're going to dump it with the top, or where the opening is, upside down over cold water. Ice water is the best, and the difference in temperature will make that can just absolutely, it's awesome. Okay. All right, so you grab it with the tongs. Obviously don't grab this super hot, super hot. Grab it, and over the water, and boom! And just like that, you hear that loud snap, and that can is pretty well flattened. There's not a whole lot left. It started off all big and bad, but it kind of got munched. Anyway, this is a really cool lesson. Uses science where you heat it up and it actually, all the air is being boiled out of it, and then you dunk it in and it just absolutely implodes. Super cool. I hope this helps you. I have a little hot plate here, and I ordered this for about 10 bucks off of Amazon. In fact, I have a box right here. This Imusa electric single burner, and it's very inexpensive and it works great. You do have to heat this up for a while. I think I had these going for probably around 10 minutes before they got to the temp I needed them at. So you got to prep a little bit, get it going ahead of where you need it, but that's what planning is all about. And you test it at home, make sure you have what you need. So that little hot plate, then I have a clear bowl so you can see it actually happen. I have the water inside, and I have some ice to make it even cooler. And then of course I have some cans, a little bit of water. I say a little bit, I didn't measure it, but just enough to cover the bottom completely. You don't want it to boil out too soon, but you also don't want there to be too much in there either. So just a layer, a thin layer at the bottom, just enough to cover the whole bottom of the can, and then pick it up with tongs. Again, upside down in the water, and super cool. And if I had time, I'd have like maybe 5 or 6 of these going, so it's not just a 1 or 2 shot. You get to do it 5 or 6 times, and the kids will love it. Anyway, hope this helps. Super cool lesson. We call it crushing the devil, because that's what needs to happen to that stinkhead. Anyway, if you had a better way to use this lesson or some recommendation ideas to make this lesson better, please let me know about it. Send me an email, drop a comment, go on the website. Some way, just let me know how we can improve, because I definitely want our Sunday school to get better, and I'm sure you do as well. Until then, God bless you, and happy Sunday school. That was punching the devil in the nose.